If a shopping resource is saying only buy things you really need right now just to be safe,
right?
We're in trouble because shopping is our hobby here. This is what we do. We like guns and we like to shop.
Welcome back to Hysteria, the podcast that's worried about our news attention span. Have people already moved on from Signalgate? Sam, have people moved on from Signalgate? It feels like they have.
Oh, I believe they definitely have. I was searching for the guy's name this morning, like kind of just like looking at.
Who, Matt Walls?
Yeah, looking at market turbulence. And I was like, who was the guy who did the Signalgate and invited the report? I'm like, it just happened.
Happened. You know how you can't forget about it, though? Because every time, so Trump had Bibi Netanyahu in the Oval the other day.
Yep.
And he had a real murderer's row. It was Vance, and then Rubio, and then the old Pete Hegseth, SecDef Hegseth.
Yep.
And every time I see Marco Rubio, all I think about is that he knew two things. Yes. He knew that chat was Bad News Bears, which is why the only reply he had on the whole thing was "Good job, guys," after it was over.
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys. And every time I see him, I'm like, he's just living. He is the dog that caught the car. He's like, I wanted to be Secretary of State. I have sold my soul to the devil, and I will be a laughing stock. And because of all of this, I will never be president, because I was both part of Signalgate and I am the Secretary of State, while Trump just willy-nilly wages tariffs on people.
Yeah, he looks so sad in every photograph that is captured of him, and I'm fine with it. He should be sad.
But he needs to, he's not old. He needs to roll his shoulders back and sit up straight. He's all slumped on the sofa all the time.
I have to say that I'm enjoying, as I was saying, you have to look for those moments of joy. I actually like watching you become decrepit and age inside, because you really have earned it. You have earned this.
He's going to be 70 by the time this is all over.
100%. His
internal temperature of 70-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay, so news is still newsing this week.
Yes.
This week, the I.R.S., in some really terrible news, agreed to work with Homeland Security to track down migrants they're trying to deport with tax records. Yes, with their tax records. Because, Sam, what is the through line here? They've been paying taxes. That's how they can be found, because they've been paying taxes.
They pay taxes.
So federal laws have historically had a tight hold on taxpayer information, something always made us sleep easy, shielding home addresses, earnings, and other data from disclosure, even to other government agencies. A lot of people don't know this, but many undocumented immigrants do pay taxes, and the I.R.S. has allowed them to submit tax returns using a separate 9-digit code called an individual taxpayer identification number. This was all with the understanding that the I.R.S. would protect the confidentiality of migrants' tax information. Well, Sam.
Yep.
They've made a deal with I.C.E. They've made a deal with
Social Security. They pay into it. So I.C.E. and the I.R.S. have a deal. The terms of the deal haven't been released. But in response to this move, the acting I.R.S. administrator, Melanie Krause, has quit. Yeah. She's at least the third top official to quit the agency since Trump's taken office. Just a little reminder, tax day is next week. And also, Sam, just a little nug of info from what we were talking about. According to the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, undocumented migrants paid $96.7 billion with a B dollars in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022, amounting to roughly $8,889 per person. Another little nugget, in about 40 U.S. states, undocumented immigrants pay higher state and local tax than the top 1% of households within their borders. Yep. There was a reason why we had a mechanism for them to pay into the system. It was beneficial.
Right.
I don't know what, I know what
are
the
they
point
doing?
Is, and I don't know what the
because
point
can I
is.
ask a question?
Yeah.
Here's just I'm just going to be Lady Jane Econ 101.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm a member of a hunted gang from Venezuela, am I going to sit around and pay my taxes? It feels like that's not the lot of individual we're looking for here. So it's all such trash. They're
all
like,
trash.
We're just trying to get the gang members out. You know what? We all agree with that. Get murderous gang members out if they've committed crimes, double check, with
like some jurisprudence that you're actually getting that correct people out and not sending hairdressers and nice tattoo artists to terrible prisons in El Salvador.
Yep.
But Sam, I'm just saying that I'm going to say that this seems menacing and fishy at best.
Menacing, fishy, like actually actively stupid, like not self-serving. It doesn't make any sense. We're going to study this period of time. They're not even going to be able to teach it in college classes 25 years from now because it's too stupid to even study. Like nobody would ever believe it. Do you know what I mean?
Clearly we know Donald Trump didn't take logic in ninth grade like most of us did. But if you go and make a deal with ICE and you make a deal with ICE and the IRS, that's $96.7 billion. They're actually potentially that's going to vaporize because if I were someone who was paying my taxes and found out that information was being used for ICE, why would I continue paying taxes?
Why would I continue? Why it would make no sense at all. You just simply wouldn't.
No,
everything
you know what?
Is fear.
Everything is fear. You know what else is fear?
What?
Let's get into you and I, we're getting a little breaking news. You and I are not getting Wednesday today. The breaking news actually happened about 2 minutes before we got on here to record.
It did.
Trump, in the most official and thoughtful way possible, tweeted that he is going to implement a 90-day pause on tariffs. He actually didn't say which countries, but he did say except for China.
Okay.
So the stock market, it's back up. 2,000 it was about 2,000 points up, which is great. But again, Sam, every time we have opened the front page of CNN for the past 2 weeks, we see the stock market ticking down. Today it's ticking up.
Yep.
But like for the most part, what he did today, a 90-day pause, does not give our economy what it needs, which is stability.
Certainty, some type of predictability. It doesn't satisfy any of those needs. It can't possibly remain stable because it's a 90-day pause. So who knows what's going to happen within that. We all know now that we're not currently a reliable partner.
For anybody.
Why
would anyone trust us? I wouldn't even trust us to pick us up at the airport.
I would not. Pick us up at the airport. I wouldn't trust us to wait for me while I'm in the bathroom. Do you know what I mean?
No, we're not asking Donald Trump to hold our bag while we go pee. Because when we come out, the bag still 90% chance the bag is gone, and the person holding the bag.
Oh, definitely.
And it's like we talk about it, and big businesses, which everyone kind of focuses on, the Walmarts, the car manufacturers. Everyone's worried. They're like, this is gonna the tariffs on cars and the manufacturing and blah blah blah. Well, but Sam, 99% of our economy is made up of small businesses.
Yes. It is. It's
small businesses. And pausing the tariff, while potentially helpful in a short term, I think if you are a small business, like I have been reading a lot about Chinatown in New York City,
right,
and how they're very worried that a lot of the stores would really face a problem because they import almost everything.
Yeah.
So if I'm one of those stores, maybe if your shipment will get here before the 90 days, you're going to try and stockpile some stuff. But in terms of long-term planning, infrastructure, what's so crazy about so much of what Trump is doing, he's like, we're doing the tariffs because we're bringing manufacturing back here. How long does he think it takes to build a plant?
Yeah, that makes tiny, let's say, I actually have a friend who's starting a small business and she requires different sized tiny bottles with different sized tiny lids that go on the tiny bottles. Well, she has to make a commitment, let's say, to purchase the entire stockpile of those little tiny bottles. And those orders are put in with 3 months. She has a 3-month or 4-month lead time. How can she know when to put those orders in? How can she know that the orders won't get stopped? It's just impossible to plan for these tiny, and we're not anytime soon, unless I'm completely mistaken, building a tiny bottles factory here where we make tiny tops for tiny bottles.
No, as someone who has honey and someone who makes jam, it has been for years, it's been difficult to find jars with lids. And so now, and not only does your friend who needs the tiny jars with the tiny lids not know when or how to stockpile her materials that she needs for her business, she also doesn't know what the appetite's going to be for consumers who may not have, top 5 things they need to buy in an uncertain time.
Exactly. I was just saying before we got on this podcast that I went on Wirecutter, which is a resource that I always enjoy reading as a lark. And it was basically like don't buy anything if you don't need it. Pause all shopping.
Was it because of the tariff? Like what? Yeah. Why were they saying just because of the tariff? Because it's going to be so expensive.
Tariffs, because they don't know because the prices of things are going to be so changeable. Right. Everything is just an unknown. And also suppliers are so confused. Like nobody knows what they can get and when they can ship it and how. Will it get there? Will it be stopped? Like everything just feels like a big, messy, confusing soup. So unless you really need something, if a shopping resource is saying only buy things you really need right now just to be safe.
Right.
We're in trouble because shopping is our hobby here. This is what we do. We like guns and we like to shop.
It's true. And so if nothing else, here's a little PSA, which is if you have small businesses you love, know that all of them are uncertain right now.
Yes.
And if you have the ability, go get something from your small business that you need.
Yes, go to a storefront. Literally, like walk into a store, I know it's hard to have conversations, but like open the door and then you go hello and the bell rings and then you buy the thing in the place.
You have a little chat and you bitch about tariffs.
Isn't that part? Well, that's a good thing.
And then you ask them how they're doing and then you take a picture of what you got and you put it on Instagram and you remind other people to go support a small business if they can right now.
Yes.
You know what Trump was supporting this weekend?
What was he supporting this weekend?
His PAC.
Yes.
You know what else he was supporting? The golf tournament that's partnered, it is the Saudi sovereign wealth fund live golf tournament at his golf course.
Yep.
Sam, I just need to remind people, I don't know why, but this is a particular bugaboo for me.
Yeah.
When we first got to the White House, iPads had just come out, right? I had no idea what it was. And Barack Obama got an iPad. He was so excited about it.
Yeah.
And we were like, you can't just carry that iPad to Marine One. It'll look like an Apple ad. And we actually, if you look back in pictures, you'll always see it looks like he's carrying a book. Like an actual bound book. And it was the cover for his iPad so people wouldn't know that he had an Apple iPad.
Okay.
And it is funny to me that we actually twisted ourselves up in knots about trying to figure out how things could not look like an endorsement.
Yeah.
When Trump, as the market was melting down, this was mid-meltdown.
Yeah.
He went on a monetization bender in Florida. He bounced between the Saudi-backed live golf tournament at his Doral resort, fundraisers at Mar-a-Lago for what? And Trump International Golf Course. Money, people were swimming in the dollar bills. Swimming in dollar bills. Every room at Doral was sold out, and he brought in over $20 million for his PAC in a couple hours with a dinner. And then he posted on Truth Social, "This is a great time to get rich. Richer than ever before."
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the cost of the presidential suite? $13,000 a night-ish?
I mean, and it appears that the president of Argentina attended the fundraiser in hopes of seeing Trump, which I think he didn't. But here was my question, unclear from any investigative journalism. Did the president of Argentina pay to attend a fundraiser for Donald Trump? What? I legitimately don't answer the question. I'm not trying to be leading here.
Don't know.
But I don't know. But Sam...
Yeah.
Sam, what say you?
I mean, listen, he doesn't care about reading the room. I mean, listen, putting on Truth Social, Hank Tough, he doesn't even care. He's so careless. He doesn't even never a spell check, just flippant. No ability or interest in reading the room. And what is actually so amazing to me is that still there are so many millions of people who look at that behavior, which I think is, it's the height of callousness. I mean, it's the absolute outer limit of how much disregard and loathing you can have for normal people. And still people will look at that and go, that's cool, man. He's so rich. I'm going to be that rich one day.
It's true.
And like the answer is you're most likely not.
No, you're not.
Most likely not.
Hysteria is brought to you by Article. You guys just ordered a new desk from Article. It is the Casey desk. I got it in white oak. It took me about 15 minutes to set up. The instructions were so clear and easy to understand, which, let's be honest, I'm a woman of a certain age. I get frustrated quickly right now. And, I've had Article before, so I knew it would be a good experience. But the desk is sleek and beautiful. And now it has one of my favorite vases on it. And I'm just thinking about whether or not it needs a chair now, too. Article, as we always say, makes it effortless to create a stylish, long-lasting home at an unbeatable price. Desk was very, very affordable. Article offers a curated range of mid-century, modern, coastal, and Scandi-inspired pieces that not only shine on their own, but also pair seamlessly with nearly any other Article product. This thoughtful design approach makes it incredibly easy to mix and match, helping you create a space that feels cohesive and stylish. Article takes great care in curating its collection, focusing solely on high-quality, meaningful pieces that will stand the test of time. There's no filler. Every item is chosen for its craftsmanship, design, and long-lasting value. You can immediately tell the difference in quality when you've received an Article piece. For example, the knobs. The knobs on my new little desk table are just, they're perfect, and they're like the absolute best detail. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/hysteria, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/hysteria for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Hysteria is brought to you by Nutrafol. This year, there's nothing holding you back from loving your hair again. Hair is so much more than what you see on the surface. It's a reflection of what's happening inside. Let Nutrafol target the key root causes of your thinning hair and help you grow stronger, healthier strands from within. Your hair is so much more than what you see when you look in the mirror. From stress and nutrition to hormones to lifestyle, so many internal factors affect what you see on the outside. With Nutrafol's science-backed whole-body approach, nourish growth from within and achieve your best hair yet. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand tested by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Physician-formulated with 100% drug-free ingredients, Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting key root causes of thinning: stress, hormones, aging, nutrition, lifestyle, metabolism, through whole body health. Building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required. Automated deliveries and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with a Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20% off. You'll have access to free naturopathic doctor consults, and Headspace meditation membership is included. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code HYSTERIA. Find out why over 7,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthy hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code HYSTERIA. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code HYSTERIA. It's actually even worse than the first term.
Oh, yes.
Because what everyone keeps forgetting, he lived through like 97 indictments, 97 criminal charges, or in the 90s, 90-some criminal charges, hasn't gone to jail, was actually convicted on a handful, still fine, impeached twice, still lives to tell about it.
Yeah, many
so
years
we have a totally
older. Totally unfettered, many years older. And that means like each year that you get older, you give like many fewer fucks. So like many fewer fucks than before. The stakes are so low for him to listen to literally anyone. He can just kind of do. He really is pretty untethered. And I don't like revel in this, but I do recall just so many conversations leading up to his election where I was like, it will be worse. It will be the worst thing you've ever seen, and things you cannot imagine happening will happen. And everyone was like, God, you're so negative. Why are you so chaotic internally? And I'm like, you don't understand what is possible.
But here's my question. What do you think? I have an idea maybe. What do you think he's raising all this PAC money for?
I don't know.
right.
What's your theory?
About my theory?
Yes. Oh, God.
I think he's just raising all this money. Because, like, I actually was like, at this point, what is he doing with PAC money? Like, why? I'd be raising library money, right? The library is much more of like a slush fund. I mean, I don't like adult people treat it properly, but for
he only
him,
has one book in his library, but that's okay.
right. And it's the one that he wrote.
Yeah.
And also his erotic fiction book that he had from back in the day. But like, I think he's just raising money so he can primary people. He can support financially primary campaigns against people who go astray.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's got to be. I mean, because even today when he was, I think it was today, he was yapping. And he was talking about, no. It was clips from one of the fundraisers that he spoke at where he was making fun of Republicans who were telling him, "Oh, zoink, Scoob, these tariffs might be a bad idea."
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a name for them, right?
Panicans.
Panicans? Which,
I mean, it's not terrible.
yeah, but you want to say Repanican. Like, if it's related to
Oh, yeah, that's
Republicans,
good.
Like, it doesn't have any, Panican doesn't have any relationship to me to the word Republic. Like, it doesn't make sense in my brain. So I want to say Repanican. I mean, he's like kind of missing an element. Like, I don't want to improve a nickname for him, but
Don't give him pointers.
Damn it.
It's
Does
not
he listen
even
to Hysteria? Will he be tuning in?
No, we hope not. We don't want him to try to sue us like law firms.
Oh, yeah.
Again, just a reminder, we're not even at the 100-day mark.
I thought we were at the 800,000 day mark.
No, just 100. We have so many 100 days left to go.
So many hundreds and hundreds of days.
Not that any of it's funny, but you just can't help the absurdity of it. You can't help but laugh a little bit because 10 years ago, this would have seemed so utterly fucking impossible.
I mean, this is why a show like White Lotus actually captures the imagination so vividly, because you're like, give me 52 minutes of peace. Let me not look at things.
I agree.
Please.
It's like I have deep stress that we had the finale for White Lotus on Sunday and then the pit finale is tomorrow. Yeah. What am I going to do without Noah Wiley saying fuck? My Dr. Robbie.
I don't know. Oh, no. I literally just almost cried.
Right? Because those 2 hours every week
Precious.
were sacrosanct.
So precious. Like literally like going to church for me. Just like, or doing a very effective yoga class where you really get lost in it. Just a total focus.
The shades are down. The cup of tea or our little cannabis drink is just nestled next to me. There's a blanket. The phone is off.
Yep.
Because when we wake it up, it's like the stock market's down 2,000 points or it's up 2,000 points or we see that Laura Loomer is back in the news.
Maybe she's giving him the financial advice we all seek for him to receive.
No, that doesn't appear to be the advice she was giving him, Sam, because she made sure everybody knew. She went to the Oval Office to meet with President Trump, and she got some National Security Agency staff fired this week.
She did. Some serious people. Some real people with actual lives and careers.
Yep.
And credentials.
She got people who are actually qualified, people who are doing their jobs, who she just decided as part of Signalgate were the problem and needed to be gone, which I think ultimately, if I could distill what the administration believes was the issue with Signalgate, it's that someone, somewhere, probably Mike Walls, knew Jeffrey Goldberg.
Sure.
The classified information on the Signal chat, no one seems to care about.
No one seems to care about that, but they're like, we
the
have
witch
a leaker.
hunt. The witch hunt is who spoke to an erudite man on the outside.
You know, it's actually funny to me that, I mean, because I do think it is one of the leakiest, most rickety, like the leakiest of leaks. Like the whole administration is just a leaky, there's just like water coming in everywhere. Everything's spilling out. They're literally competing to get their leaks out. like trying to get their leaks ahead of other people's leaks so that they have
Right.
competing leaks. So this focusing on one person's relationship with a reporter is not really, I mean, that is literally like sticking a little pinky finger into a ship that
The
has
Titanic.
spouted many, is cracking in half.
So do you think, so it's funny because like when we were in the White House, Barack Obama had meetings with people.
Yep.
Usually there'd be a staff person there, but not always. And it wasn't usually for any nefarious reason. Sometimes he just liked to catch up with people and pick their brains and see what they had to say. This feels like she forecasted on her social media that she was going. It seems like, and within literal hours of her leaving, these people were fired.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that all the people who told us that Susie Wiles was going to rain hellfire and bring law and order to the West Wing, and who reminded us of the pictures. Do you remember? I forget what speech it was. He gave some speech that was supposed to be kind of serious, and there was a picture of her
the best.
giving like this, the like with her sunglasses on,
Yep.
giving the like shut the fuck up face.
Yep. I think I had a screensaver for a while that was him like talking just the way he like blah, blah, blah. And she's standing behind him like this.
Yeah, that's exactly the face. That's exactly the face.
Shut your mouth. Yeah. And she's not really, she's not able to like elbows up this person.
She can't elbows up him. And I think that anybody who thought she was going to be able to was a little high on their own supply.
High on their own supply is exactly it. He is really, I mean, I don't know that he doesn't take anyone's. I thought that he took no one's counsel. But I think maybe, well, he takes Stephen Miller's counsel, it seems. I mean,
I
apparently.
think he has not been liking Bill Ackman's tweets because Bill Ackman started calling for a 90-day pause this morning on tariffs, and we've got a 90-day pause on tariffs now.
Yes. Well, the billionaires don't like to not be listened to, so they can kick up
don't.
a fuss, I'm sure. They're not used to it. Can you imagine? I mean,
Elon didn't like the tariffs either. He was anti-tariff.
he was anti-tariff. A bunch of them, everyone, like people were starting to grumble, apparently. And there's nothing that gets more. I feel that when you say no to a billionaire, they get very miffed.
Yeah. No,
They
I
don't,
agree.
not used to it. Just doesn't
They don't
sit right.
feel good about it.
No.
They're like, excuse me.
but
I was speaking on Twitter.
But I'm the reason you're. Wait, hold please. Look, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm just. I just need another season of White Lotus, probably to start next week. Just a whole
Well,
new
I'm not
cast.
sure that Mike White moves that fast. But, we can take a little detour to space. So there's some space news.
Let's
a
go to
few
space.
weeks ago, Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' private space travel company, announced a star-studded all-female spaceflight to a mixed reaction. Some were excited this would be the first all-female space trip since Valentina Tereshkova's solo spaceflight in 1963, while others questioned the value of a private space trip during this difficult time politically and economically. Though to be fair, this trip has been in the works for months.
Yeah.
Set to take flight next week. Trip will last for only 11 minutes, though. The crew is made up of pop star Katy Perry, a former NASA rocket scientist, Aisha Bowe, journalists Gail King and Lauren Sanchez, who is also Bezos' fiancée, film producer Carrie Ann Flynn, and astronaut activist Amanda Nguyen, Hysteria fave, whose story I did want to celebrate.
Yes.
When Nguyen was a student at Harvard, she studied astrophysics and dreamed of being an astronaut for NASA. She was well on her way to achieving the goal. She interned for NASA at age 18 and studied astrophysics at Harvard. But then just 3 months before graduation, she was raped at a frat party and was then confronted with the trauma and horrors of navigating the legal and medical system as a survivor. She racked up thousands in hospital bills and faced the nonsensical policy to either press charges immediately or destroy her rape kit after 6 months. Her experience, though, empowered her to become an advocate. She put her astronaut dreams on hold and started RISE, a coalition of survivors who put together the Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights, which President Obama signed into law in 2016. She was nominated for a Nobel Prize in 2019, and in 2022 was one of Time Magazine's Women of the Year. She's pretty incredible. She's on the Blue Origin trip. She'll be the first Vietnamese woman ever to go in space. Amanda, if you're listening, we are so proud of you. Yes. Sam, here's my question for you, though. Would you take the opportunity to go to space?
Absolutely never. No. Actually,
not in a million years.
Not in a million billion. I actually have pretty controversial views about people just randomly going into space.
Tell me.
I think space is really stupid for regular people. I think if you're destined to be in space and you have astronaut dreams and aspirations and you've geared your whole life to the possibility, like the slim possibility of space travel, that to me qualifies you to go to space, and you are welcome to go to space and be a science person in space. Space is for science, in my opinion. It isn't for the casual traveler. I personally, my husband just got back from the Himalayas. Not in a million. There's places we shouldn't go, except for the purposes of science.
My husband climbed Everest. And I always joke, and Kilimanjaro. I always joke, this was before he met me. Yeah. I'm like, if you ever want to just like get a divorce and don't want to tell me you're getting a divorce, just like tell me you're going to climb Everest, because I won't follow you.
Like, you are on your own.
You're on your own. I'm not doing that. I'm not trekking. I'm not schlepping. No. I'm not Sherpaing. None of those things.
I don't want to go to the top of Everest. I don't want to go to the bottom of the ocean, and I definitely don't want to go to space, because we don't belong there. There's reasons to go to those places. There's reasons to go to Antarctica. I don't want to, because I don't belong on that boat at all. So. No. That is my view of space. It's not Katy Perry, great, you're wonderful. Please, I don't know why. It's just not a box that every human being should check just because they're rich or influential. That's my honest feeling about it. And it is like, is it the time to really just like on a lark go to space just because? I don't think so. I don't.
You know what? I think I agree with you. Though I'm happy Amanda's going.
Yeah, I'm very happy for her. Going. But that, to me,
that's different. She's
that.
like a scientist.
Yeah, I can put that in my brain.
She studied astrophysics.
Yes.
Hysteria is brought to you by Lumi. We've all had embarrassing BO moments. I mean, I remember once, several years ago, when I had been working out and didn't have time to run home and take a shower, and sat down to dinner with my girlfriends, who are not shy about telling me that maybe I was a little stinky. Fortunately, Lumi Whole Body Deodorant is making it so none of us have to worry about BO again. Unlike certain other deos, Lumi is powered by mandelic acid to control odor in a new way. Lumi delivers outrageous 72-hour odor control everywhere from your pits to your feet, and yes, even your privates. In fact, it was patients' concerns about private part odor that originally inspired the OBGYN who invented Lumi. Fast forward 6 years, and her game-changing whole body deo has now earned over 300,000 five-star reviews from people like me who love feeling confident from head to toe. Special offer. New customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code and link. Use code HYSTERIA at LumiDeodorant.com. LumiDeodorant.com. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash or the deodorant wipes, which I love, are always in my bag, and get free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code HYSTERIA for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code HYSTERIA at LumiDeodorant.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi. Hysteria is brought to you by Armor Colostrum. Why are elite athletes, business moguls, and high performers using Armor Colostrum? Armor colostrum is nature's first whole food with over 400 bioactive ingredients working at the cellular level to build lean muscle, accelerate recovery, and fuel performance, all without artificial stimulants or synthetic junk. Whether you're running a business, training hard, or want an edge, Armor optimizes your body for peak output. I've been using Armor colostrum, and I have noticed strengthened immunity, for one. I almost always get a cold this time of year. Knock wood. This year so far, no cold. Only changed since last year. It optimizes your microbiome and strengthens your immune barriers along the mouth, sinuses. Sinus is always a problem for me. Lungs, gut, urinary, and reproductive tract to guard against unwelcome particles for your strongest immune health. Also, I think it's really made my skin glow. I don't know. I feel like you guys can maybe see. This is not exactly good lighting in my office. I've reaped strong benefits from the antioxidants, whole food prebiotics, growth factors, vitamins, and regenerative peptides, which research has shown help reduce fine lines. See, not too many fine lines. Enhance skin radiance and activate collagen production, which also strengthens the skin barrier. We've worked out a special deal for our audience. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmor.com/hysteria or enter Hysteria to get 15% off your first order. That's TRYARMRA.com/hysteria. Now let's get to Sani Petty. Sam, you feeling Sani or you feeling petty?
I'm actually feeling Sani.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen, God only knows. I mean, God bless us one and all. But I did go to the protest this weekend.
And
I took my kids. I made them go with me. And they were not that excited at first. And we were in the car and I was like, I'm not taking you to Dick's Sporting Goods unless you go to this protest with me first. Nobody's getting athletic shorts unless we all stand in the rain and stand together in community and just say, it is not okay what is happening in this country, like as one. And they were like, okay, like we get it, but like what is the purpose of this? And I was like, guys, the purpose is that you're trying to build momentum, that change can happen if momentum builds. And the only way to build momentum is to participate in the building of the momentum. So we're just going to stand there with our human bodies and make the pictures look better with our presence, with our just like indistinguishable human forms. And we're going to do that every single time it happens. And that's the way it's going to be. And they were like, I understand. And they were like, but what if no one's there? It's going to be so embarrassing. But you know what? We went in Stamford, Connecticut, of all places, where I did not think it was going to be like a hotbed of, outpouring. And there were so many people there and it was raining and it actually felt incredible. I was like, look around you, and this is how movements happen. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna, it's not immediate.
But think about it. Most of the people who probably were in their cars driving to the rally in Stamford probably thought to themselves, look, it's not going to be a barn burner, but we're going to do our thing. And then the more people who see how many people did show up, it shows that there's common cause. And it means even more people are going to show up next time.
That's right. The number of cars who are driving through, and honking and sticking their fists out the window, I'm like, those people are going to show up next time. And the crowd's going to be even bigger. And it's just brick by brick by brick that you are building, feeling a common cause with people. Feeling that common cause is actually, it really fed me. It definitely, I don't feel great, but I felt something. And I think my kids felt it too. And that's my Sani. And I'll do it every time.
I love that. I'm also Sani.
Great.
Mine is I have been scrolling because I'm worried that I don't have 2 programs anymore to occupy my joy center at night.
Yep.
And so I've been scrolling Instagram and I try to get my algorithm to be friendly to me. Mm-hmm. And I found someone named Brandon O'Neill. Have you ever heard of Brandon O'Neill?
No, but I need to.
Okay. He is a dance instructor. He is a dancer himself, an activist. And he teaches kids of all ages, but I fell into a rabbit hole of the younger kids that he teaches. And I think we can show a clip.
And 5, 6, believe in yourself. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, wash machine on rinse. And 1, 2 and 3 and 4, wash machine on rinse. Let's go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, shimmy, 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 ride. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, A+, A+. 5, 6, I need to
okay.
today. Hup. Washing machine on rent.
I mean, look at that.
Oh my God.
Okay, again, what did I say last week? Excellence. I am
Excellence.
just drawn to excellence, but
Yep.
also, Sam, from now on, when we are not sleeping, I am just going to text you. And 5 and 6, believe in yourself, because that I'm like, this guy is a genius, and he hosts. Here's the other thing I found when I went through other like his Instagram that he has. Like does these group adult classes in high schools where anyone can show up. They're called these like healing jazz classes. And you can go and he teaches you the washing machine. And I watched it and it's like between that and the fact that today as we record, which is Wednesday, it's the beginning of the Masters and people can have their feelings about the Masters, but on Wednesday, the children of the golfers get to put on the little white caddy jumpsuits and the hats and they get to go out there and golf.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, it's perfect. So give me children dancing and children making putts.
Great.
And Sam, with that, we will build and going to rallies with our fists out the car, Erin. We will get it through.